Alright, it's 9/11/2012, and I guess in my my quantum generators didn't predict anything yesterday. By numerical order, 10, 11, 12 should have been a very predominant day, but that's not until next month, 10, 11, 12. That's a cryptic prediction, by the way. I've seen all the videos on 9/11, and no one has explained it exactly the way I did. In one of my videos, somewhere along there, all the more than 300 videos, I've explained it pretty well. But in the explanations I've seen for the Pentagon attack, it's been examined every which way, and I'm going to add something to that. If, in fact, a plane had flown into the Pentagon, like the YouTube videos show, there would have been a lot more damage. But that's not all. Telltale damage there wasn't enough wreckage out there to show that there was an airline involved in this crash into the Pentagon. And the hole was a lot smaller before it caved in, and the hole became bigger as time went on during that day. But even if the wings had been sheared off on impact, which would explain why it's such a small hole for an aircraft, because only the fuselage went through and the wings would have left behind. But those kind of aircrafts carry all their fuel in the wings, remember. And if those wings were full of diesel fuel, then that whole lawn in front of the Pentagon would have been on fire for a long, long time. And there was no evidence of that huge of a fire on the lawn, which would have left the remnants of all the wings and any engines behind. So there's a lot of truth to the video saying that the Pentagon wasn't hit by some aircraft. It probably was a missile or an inside job. All you have to do is look at the destruction and look at the objects from the pictures that they took to see whether the objects were thrown out of the building or whether they imploded in towards the building, because everything wherever it was sitting from an aircraft going through would have been pushed up against the rear walls, when there's no evidence of that in any of the pictures. So there's a lot of anomalies here that leave big, big questions in everybody's mind about what really hit the Pentagon. And you have that Bilderberg stooge, Obama or Bush or any of the Clinton. They're all stooges for the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, Council of Foreign Relations, the Rockefellers. This is all a scam. He's putting the reef on the Pentagon this morning. Oh, whoop-de-doo. You know, the media is bought and paid for. I keep saying that. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to do anything about it. I've told you people, if you want to stop the election, if you're not... I had a black guy next to me this morning riding a brand new BMW, yelling and screaming about how this guy, Obama, is nothing but a crook and a liar. And here you've got the same race calling each other names. And he's saying he hasn't seen any evidence of poor people really getting better, and so on and so on and so forth, as he's yelling and screaming. And I mentioned out, well, don't forget, it's all Bilderberg and Trilateral Commission and rich people's interest, which is doing all this. And so long as you allow them to continue being in charge, your businesses are going to hurt. You're not going to be doing that much business. People are going to be out of work. Just today, I had a friend of mine who has an antique store, who somebody pulled into the little alleyway where he's at, where he puts some of his stuff sometimes during the day when he's open, and they stole a beautiful Chinese cabinet from him with curved glass and everything, and they stole it right under his nose. So things are bad, and they're going to continue being bad so long as you have people who have no understanding of what it's like for things to be bad. Okay? And so today on 9/11, I'm going to tell you people what I've said all along in all 300 videos, from the mistreatment that I have gone through, from my civil rights being violated even before 9/11, when I was forced to move from place to place, finding it more and more difficult to have any place where I could be, where I would be left alone. Good. You deserved 9/11, whether it was a conspiracy or not, whether the government was behind it, whether it was half government and half terrorist and had some secret thing going on that they were going to bring those buildings down. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You all deserve the violence. You deserve it because you don't have enough guts to get up, get the message all the way around, take your money out of the banks, middle class, poor people, rich people too. If you're really fed up, take your money out of the banks. As soon as the banks start to fall, this happened during the Andrew Jackson administration. Everybody had a run on the banks. No, go check your history out if you don't believe me. And once you do that, you're showing the government at the state, federal, and local level who's in charge. You're showing them who's boss. And for God's sakes, if there really was a God, and I don't believe there is, stop buying gasoline. Just do it for 1 month. And watch the oil companies fold, the banks fold. They'll be begging and pleading with you. Even the media will be pleading with you because the reporters will be threatened to be laid off because there's so many people not cooperating. So what do they need reporters for? To report that the media is falling apart too? Because everything is a chain reaction, just like dominoes. This system only continues to be bad if you people continue to operate in it, if you continue to cooperate. Stop cooperating. You don't have to do it for 6 months or a year. Stop cooperating just long enough before this election to tell them you want the election to be held differently. And then pick your spokesman of who you want to really talk. And it's not Ron Paul, and it's not whoever all those other presidential candidates are. They haven't slept in doorways. They haven't had it bad. They haven't gone through any of the stuff I've gone through. They haven't had all their possessions or their life's work stolen from them. None of them will tell you they've had their life's work stolen from them by nosy neighbors, building and safety, LAPD, LA Fire Department, all the crappy business managers in the city of Los Angeles, and the crappy FBI who wouldn't investigate them. No. Obama, this message is for you and Romney. This message says you are libby-livered cowards. You got a yellow streak up your back, and you don't have the guts to meet me on stage and debate me. Because you know what will happen? I will talk the straight, outright truth. And you, both of you, any of you, senators, congressmen, you're all a bunch of wimps, liars. And you don't deserve to be in power when you show no real effective change across the board, from all the way down from the poorest person all the way up to the richest person. I don't see any effective change. I see a bunch of bull crap speeches. That's what I see. Speeches that don't mean nothing. Empty promises. All woven in the speeches. And they're never going to get anywhere. So you have a choice. It's now 9/11, September the 11th, 2012, and you have the authority in your hands. You that's listening to this tape, even if you don't agree with me, you don't like the way I look, you don't like the way I talk, whoop-de-doo, who cares about that? What you should be concentrating on is how to make your life better. And you can't make your life better leaving comments on my YouTube telling me I'm nuts or I need meds or blah 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 blah, or even an agreement. Bravo, I support you, I'm with you, I agree with you. None of that means jack crap. You got to get up and show them who's boss. And you can't do it with guns, you can't do it with any of the violent stuff because it won't work. So these are my statements on 9/11. You all deserve 9/11s. You deserve Aurora shootings. You deserve people going crazy and knifing each other and doing all the crap that goes on. I have a lot of answers that would work. I would bring a tremendous, fantastic change if people took me seriously and the media took me seriously about running for any of the offices, but primarily not so much president. I really want the people to have a separate plebiscite. You can have your presidential election, but I want to be elected as the people's final voice over the president, over Congress, over the Senate, and over the Supreme Court. It has to clear my desk before it gets an okay. Before the Supreme Court can actually say, put their stamp on it, says, oh yeah, okay, now it's law, or now the decision is final, and this is the way it is from now on. You need a system like that because you don't have that. You've got nothing but people just yakking back and forth in the media reporting and giving you their version of it. What a waste. I mean, think about it. The media thinks that, oh, well, Romney looks presidential. I want to laugh at that one. I go, that's the reporter talking. It doesn't matter which reporter it was. CBS, ABC, NBC, they're all the same. And they're saying, well, and I thought to myself, I wonder how Will Rogers would say, what looks presidential? A powdered wig? A nice froth coat with gold buttons on each side, like Thomas Jefferson used to wear? or a pin-collared shirt with a little starch up in the collar, like they used to wear in the 1800s? Or a three-piece penguin suit, standing up there behind the podium going, or standing at the podium with your sleeves rolled up to show you're just like the blue-collar worker. This is all a bunch of garbage. I can't believe you people are just falling for it all the time. It's not just the presidential election. It's the Senate, the Congress, the state legislatures, the judges you elect at the local level, the politics at the local, federal, and state levels. I can't believe you people fall for this crap. You shouldn't have to need money to be elected. That's the honest truth. You really shouldn't. And we don't need Obamacare. We don't need Romney care. We don't need Congress care. We don't need Senate care. We need socialized medicine. Didn't I say that yesterday? The French gave us this beautiful Statue of Liberty to represent freedom. 7 points on her head and the book she's holding, liberty and justice. As a token of friendship, it sits there right there in New York Harbor. And we can't really respond to that by saying, you know, we have a message to send to the French. God, you've got a great medical system. It's socialized medicine, and everybody gets help. We don't have to feed some lousy, stinking insurance company to get better teeth care or health care. We now have socialized medicine. We're going to adopt your system to the country of France. We'll answer our true message about a thank you for the Statue of Liberty by conforming to your socialized medicine, form of socialized medicine. That would be the best answer to give the French, but I don't see that happening. As a matter of fact, I see nothing but contradiction and more mess, and it's like in the movie Dave. It creates, like he's making the speech, it creates such a noise. There's so much noise and arguing that you can't even hear yourself think. But in that movie, Dave makes a mistake. He says, I'm going to make the responsibility of this administration to find a job for anyone who wants one. Well, it shouldn't be the government's responsibility to find a job either. That's what free business enterprise is about. Freedom to work without too many restrictions, so that the businesses can make their concrete decisions and hire the people that they really need, not hire the people that are forced on them. That's not democracy. That's idiocy. It doesn't take brains to think this out. Look at your picture. You don't have any real choice. So make a choice this time. Everybody go vote. But before you vote, take your money out of the bank. Stop buying gasoline. From now till the time of the election, the night of the election, don't go back to normal. Don't cooperate and tell the government, sorry. We want an emergency legislation at the federal level to elect Caesar as the end of the road, the cul-de-sac, in making the final decision on whether any of these federal, state, and local agencies have a right to do what they're doing and violate people's civil rights by circumventing civil rights and using the color of law to do it. You need that. I don't want to really do that. Trust me. I don't. I want to get a bunch of money and leave. I don't care about your country because I don't care about its people, because they don't care about themselves enough to formulate, create the courage, make the symmetry strong between each and every citizen that's able to vote, young, middle-aged, old, and go to those polls and say, we're not going to vote. We're not going to put our money back in the bank. We're not going to buy gasoline until you elect Caesar as master over all of it, period. And let him decide when he's going to quit. because it's going to be pretty fast, I'll tell you, because I don't want to hold on to something that long. Once you do that, I guarantee things will change, because you've got one final source. You've got a very bright intellectual man who's the final source in the decision that needs to be made. It always ends up being one person anyway. So you have your 15-minute video for 9/11, and as far as 9/11 is concerned, I hate that flag. That flag is so evil. It's built up so much. That American flag has built up so much evil karma all over the world. It shouldn't even be flown, except maybe by World War II veterans. And even then, I wonder just how far back the karma goes, because it does. It goes all the way back. All you got to do is read that book, Addicted to War, and see the videotape by Frank Durrell, What I Learned About U.S. Foreign Policy. And that's it. Once you see those two things, read the Addicted to War thing, which is on YouTube, a short version of it, and the Frank Durrell's tape, the DVD. You'll want to cooperate, because you don't want to be responsible for other people's deaths, for other people's lives, just over putting gas in your car or making your money continue to circulate. That's a forced system. Systems should be free to flow. People willingly to spend their money, not forced to save it, forced to spend it because they're forced to save it, and hoard it because they're scared. That shouldn't exist. Like Franklin Roosevelt said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Unless there are people out there that are creating so much fear that fear is the only thing that you can feel. Alright, so that's it. That's our fireside chat, 9/11 fireside chat with me in the United States of evil America, who doesn't want to listen, and evil media, who doesn't want to give me equal fair publicity. And to Obama and Romney, you are chicken liver-livered cowards to not answer my challenges. I've challenged you since 2010, 15 challenges, and I'm sure at the end of September, by the end of Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to turn around and challenge you again and give you another deadline in October. I'll probably pick Halloween as the second deadline. For what, the 17th challenge that you haven't answered? Oh, Obama and Romney know about me. They just have been told by their advisors, oh, no, you can't do that. He's a nobody. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere because you people are keeping me there. You've destroyed my life. Just listen to all my videos if you don't believe me.